A lawyer who had a wife and 12 children needed to move because his rental agreement was terminated by the owner, who wanted to reoccupy the home. When he said he had 12 children, no one would rent a home to him because they felt that the children would destroy the place. So he sent his wife for a walk to the cemetery with 11 of their kids. He took the remaining one with him to see rental homes with the real estate agent. He loved one of the homes and the price was right. The agent asked, "How many children do you have?" He answered, 12. The agent asked, "Where are the others?" The lawyer, with his best courtroom sad look, answered, "They're in the cemetery with their mother." Wife, what are you doing? Husband, nothing. Wife, nothing. You've been reading our marriage certificate for an hour. Husband, I was looking for the expiration date. It seems a farm boy accidentally overturned his wagon load of corn. The farmer who lived nearby heard the noise. "Hey, Willis!" the farmer yelled. "Forget your troubles. Come in with us. Then I'll help you get the wagon up." "That's mighty nice of you," Willis answered. "But I don't think Pa would like me to." "Aw, come on," the farmer insisted. "Well, okay," the boy finally agreed and added, "but Pa won't like it." After a hearty dinner, Willis thanked his host. "I feel a lot better now, but I know Pa's going to be really upset." "Don't be foolish," the neighbor said with a smile. "By the way, where is he?" "Under the wagon." One day, a mailman was greeted by a boy and his dog. The mailman said to the boy, "Does your dog bite?" "No," replied the boy. Just then, the dog bit the mailman. "Hey," he yelled, "I thought your dog doesn't bite." "He doesn't," replied the boy, "but that's not my dog." Suddenly, Satan appeared menacingly at the front of the church. Everyone immediately started screaming and running for the front entrance, trampling each other in a frantic effort to get away from evil incarnate. Soon, everyone had exited the church except for one elderly gentleman who sat calmly in his pew without moving, seeming oblivious to the fact that God's ultimate enemy was in his presence. So Satan walked up to the old man and said with a growl, "Don't you know who I am?" The man replied unfazed, "Yep, sure do." "Aren't you afraid of me?" Satan asked. "Nope, sure ain't," said the man. "Don't you realize I can kill you with a word?" asked Satan. "Don't doubt it for a minute," returned the old man in an even tone. "Did you know that I could cause you profound, horrifying physical agony for all eternity?" persisted Satan. "Yep," was the calm reply. "And you're still not afraid?" asked Satan. "Nope." Frustrated, Satan asked, "Well, why aren't you afraid of me?" The man calmly replied, "Been married to your sister for over 48 years. A married lawyer having fun in his car with his secretary. On getting home, his wife observed on the back seat. She tore it apart, screaming, "Honey, what is this?" He calmly replied, "You have just destroyed the evidence of the rape case, worth $1 million for me, which I'm handling. You can forget the jewelry you wanted." She quickly fell on her knees, apologizing. No one wins over a lawyer, even something called a wife. Patty phones an ambulance because his mate's been hit by a car. Patty, "Get an ambulance here quick. He's bleeding from his nose and ears, and I think both his legs are broken." Operator, "What is your location, sir?" Patty, "Outside number 28 Eucalyptus Street." Operator, "How do you spell that, sir?" Silence. Heavy breathing. And after a minute, Operator, "Are you there, sir?" More heavy breathing and another minute later. Operator, "Sir, can you hear me?" This goes on for another few minutes until... Operator, "Sir, please answer me. Can you still hear me?" Patty, "Yes, sorry about that. I couldn't spell eucalyptus, so I just dragged him round to number 3 Oak Street." Rushing to get to the movies, my husband and I told the kids we had to leave right now, at which point our teenage daughter headed for the bathroom to apply makeup. Her dad yelled for her to get in the car immediately and headed for the garage, grumbling. On the way to the multiplex, my husband glanced in the rearview mirror and caught our teen applying lipstick and blush, which produced the predictable lecture. "Look at your mom," he said. "She didn't put on any makeup just to go sit in a dark movie theater." From the back, I heard, "Yeah, but Mom doesn't need makeup." My heart swelling with the compliment, I turned back to thank this sweet, wonderful daughter of mine, just as she continued, "Nobody looks at her." A senior citizen said to his 80-year-old buddy, "So I hear you're getting married?" "Yep." "Do I know her?" "Nope." "This woman, is she good looking?" "Not really." "Is she a good cook?" "No, she can't cook too well." "Does she have lots of money?" "Nope, poor as a church mouse." "Well then, is she good in bed?" "I don't know." "Why in the world do you want to marry her then?" "Because she can still drive." An accountant, a lawyer, and a cowboy were standing side by side using the urinal. The accountant finished, zipped up, and started washing and literally scrubbing his hands clear up to his elbows. He used about 20 paper towels before he finished. He turned to the other two men and commented, "I graduated from the University of Michigan, and they taught us to be clean." The lawyer finished, zipped up and quickly wet the tips of his fingers, grabbed one paper towel and commented, "I graduated from the University of California, and they taught us to be environmentally conscious." The cowboy zipped up, and as he was walking out the door said, "I was educated in horsefly, and they taught us not to piss on our hands." Hospital regulations require a wheelchair for patients being discharged. However, while working as a student nurse, I found one elderly gentleman already dressed and sitting on the bed with a suitcase at his feet, who insisted he didn't need my help to leave the hospital. After a chat about rules being rules, he reluctantly let me wheel him to the elevator. On the way down, I asked him if his wife was meeting him. "I don't know," he said. "She's still upstairs in the bathroom changing out of her hospital gown." There was this party in the woods, and all of a sudden there was a downpour of thunder and rain. These two young guys ran for about 10 minutes in the pouring rain, finally reaching their car just as the rain let up. They jumped in the car, started it up, and headed down the road laughing and, of course, still drinking one beer after the other. All of a sudden, an old man's face appeared in the passenger window and tapped lightly on the window. The passenger screamed out, "Eek! Look at my window! There's an old guy's face there! Was this a ghost?" This old man kept knocking, so the driver said, "Well, open the window a little and ask him what he wants." So the passenger rolled his window down part way and said, scared out of his wits, "What do you want?" The old man softly replied, "You have any tobacco?" The passenger, terrified, looked at the driver and said, "He wants tobacco." "Well, offer him a cigarette, hurry!" The driver replies. So he fumbles around with the pack and hands the old man a cigarette and yells, "Step on it!" rolling up the window in terror. Now, going about 80 miles an hour, they calm down and they start laughing again. And the passenger says, "What do you think of that?" The driver says, "I don't know. How could that be? I am going pretty fast." Then all of a sudden, again there is a knock on the window, and there is the old man again. "Ah, there he is again!" the passenger yells. "Well, see what he wants now!" yells back the driver. He rolls down the window a little ways and shakily says, "Yes." "Do you have a light?" the old man quietly asks. The driver throws a lighter out the window at him and rolls up the window and yells, "Step on it!" They are now going about 100 miles an hour and still guzzling beer, trying to forget what they had just seen and heard, when all of a sudden again there is more knocking. "Oh my God, he's back!" He rolls down the window and screams out, "What do you want now?" in stark terror. The old man gently replies, "You want some help getting out of the mud?" After being married for 40 years, I took a careful look at my wife one day and said, 40 years ago, we had a cheap house, a junk car, slept on a sofa bed, and watched a 10-inch black and white TV. But I got to sleep every night with a hot 23-year-old girl. Now, I have a $1 million home, a $50K car, a nice big bed, and a large screen TV, but I'm sleeping with a 63-year-old woman. It seems to me that you're not holding up your side of things. My wife is a very reasonable woman. She told me to go out and find a hot 23-year-old girl, and she would make sure that I would once again be living in a cheap house, driving a junk car, sleeping on a sofa bed, and watching a 10-inch black and white TV. Aren't older women great? They really know how to solve an old guy's problems.